Blanket, we're doing it live. Live, and live. How about some intro music, everybody? How about a better dance team? Orange Blue today, presented by Sean Honda. Andrew Mason is somewhere. He's east of here. He was at Kansas City last night. I think he's on his way somewhere else today. But anyway, I hope everyone is safe and somewhat happy. As happy as you can be. Orange and Blue today, again, presented by Sean Honda. Cecil Lammy riding solo today, and it's interesting. Makes you want to pull your hair out if you're the Denver Broncos or a Broncos fan. Let's get going on this thing. I'm doing an AMA today, or as I should say, like my guy Glenn Gers. I've actually never met Glenn, but I've watched so many of his YouTube videos on writing for screens. It's a screenwriting thing. Like there's Save the Cat, the greatest screenwriting book of all time. Shout out and RIP to Blake Snyder. But anyway, Glenn Gers has his YouTube channel about screenwriting. It says, Ask Me Almost Anything. Yeah, it's an Ask Me Anything today. On today's program, I don't really feel like going over the game. I do have some post-game video thanks to Mace, whose presence is felt on this program. But do we really need to go over last night's game? There are some false narratives, fake news that is coming out from the Kansas City and Denver Broncos game that I want to get to. And I want to, in a way, shout down. But honestly, I want to stay calm as much as I can talking about this team because I'm done letting the Broncos hurt me. I've said that this morning on Schlereth and Evans. Like I kind of said it last night, but last night again, I made myself physically ill talking about this team, and I wasn't even yelling like normal. So like, yeah, I'm just done. Not checked out, done, just like done with this version of the Broncos. And as I'll continue to say, and you listen to John Davis on the drive today, he thinks it's something. There's three things going on. I think it's one thing. John Davis thinks it's something else. I'll let you decide. Chat room, it's an AMA. Ask me anything. Ask me almost anything. Keep it Broncos related or comic books. But just like, let's talk about this. I'm going to do an AMA on today's show, and we're going to get through this, man. We're going to get through this. You don't have to watch the Broncos this weekend. Whew. But there is fake news and false narratives that is coming out about the Denver Broncos over this game against Kansas City because people are looking for silver linings, and I don't downplay that, or I don't talk down to that whatsoever. People are looking for silver linings because this sucks. It absolutely sucks. And Jason Pot Stoner Degenerate says, "Are you working Best Buy part time?" Yeah, well, maybe I should. Money's pretty tight, especially when you're running an independent comic book company. But like, yeah, money's tight, so maybe I should get a fourth job. I've got two that pay, one that doesn't yet. But yeah, maybe best. Are you hiring? Is anybody hiring? Basically, it'd be me and George Payton looking for a job, because George Payton is not good at his job as Broncos general manager. So it's an AMA on today's show. I wanted to strike you down with some of the false narratives that are coming out, like Vance Joseph is figuring it out. That's not true. Okay. I wrote about it in my 3 observations available at denversports.com. Like, wow, they held the Chiefs. It was 19-8. And oh man, alive. Look at this. They held them to 1 touchdown. That means Vance Joseph's figuring it out. No, it's not. No, he's not. It's not doing it. Doesn't mean he's getting better. Doesn't mean the Broncos are improving. It means the Chiefs were messing around with you, man. The Chiefs felt the need. And even going for it on 4th down, right? The disrespect. The lies and misinformation, the disrespect coming from Andy Reid, because, well, what is there to respect? Is it disrespect when you don't really have to have respect for your opponent because they're not good and they're one of the worst teams in the league? You answer me. But either way, like, the Chiefs are messing around with him, man. How does everybody not see this? The Chiefs, with all their trick plays that 75% of them didn't work, like, the Chiefs are just flipping around. They were messing around with you, man. They didn't have to put their foot on the gas. And because of that, they're like, hey, let's try some stuff out. And let's put it on film for other opponents that now have to prepare for these god-awful trick plays that did not work. So the Chiefs were messing with the Broncos. That's how bad, that's how low this team is. Vance Joseph did not figure anything out. Vance Joseph is not getting better. Vance Joseph will still be fired by this team eventually. Please, for the love of God, don't take me literally. You said Vance Joseph would be fired. Like, oh my God, are we going to start that? Vance Joseph doesn't deserve his job. And I don't care if that sounds mean, but that's just the way it is. He's not good enough. Sorry. If I was defensive coordinator of the Broncos, it'd probably be worse, but I wouldn't deserve that job. It's a performance-based business in pretty much everything. But, you know, so why haven't the Broncos fired? I'm not going to lose any more sleep over this. I'm not going to make myself sick anymore over this team. They're disgusting. They're horrific. They're god-awful. And to get better, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some draft picks. It's going to take Caleb Williams. So the people rushing to judgment with Russell Wilson, like, okay, stop. Enough, buddy. Enough. Put in Jarrett Stidham. That's dumb. Jarrett Stidham doesn't solve anything for you. It's not like you're all of a sudden going to get back in the playoff race because of Jarrett Stidham. To quote Ricky Waters, for who, for what? Let's put in Jarrett Stidham, guys. For what? So you'd actually win some games and ruin your draft position? For what? So you can get back into the playoff chase and not make the playoffs again? They're not making the playoffs. Had this record been different and Russ been playing a little bit like, okay, there is a different story or a different path. Jarrett Stidham does not make you better. In fact, you think it's bad. You think it's the worst of all time. It can get worse, like when you play Jarrett Stidham. So please, just grin and bear it. All right? That's where we're at with this team. It's just grin and bear it time. Hey, they suck. Yep. I've heard from a lot of people. My buddy Gabe El Taib, shout out Gabe, Big Man Comics. He texted me. He's in San Diego. And he's originally up from Greeley. Probably knows pot stoner degenerate up there getting his 7-Eleven Mountain Dew Slurpee and hitting the Jewel. But anyway, like, my buddy Gabe, lifelong Broncos fan, texted me like, I'm not wearing my Broncos gear. Right on, man. It's your decision. You're the fan. So go for it. Wear it. Don't wear it. I don't care. I get it. This team sucks, and they're not getting better this year. You're going to have to get better in the future. What I want to know is who wants to be here. Who's coming with me? To quote Jerry Maguire, who's coming with me? Jan. Thank you, Jan. That's half-baked. But anyway, like, only 8 minutes into the show. I should have quoted that sooner. Either way, I'm going to do an AMA on today's program only here. If you ask me a question on Twitter, I'm sorry. I'm not going to answer that on this show. This is about you and your questions, my answers that hopefully I have, because hopefully this team starts actually doing something. For the love of God, can they get going? Like, is this how bad George Payton is? Like, you're not kind of moving this stuff along, right? By the way, Greg Dulcich injured again against the Chiefs. Frank Clark released. Okay. Can't trade for him. Can't get anything for him because, again, you have a George Payton problem. That's what this team has. He'll be the scapegoat. And then Sean Payton, it's on you. So 3 things have happened here. I'm getting way off track. So I apologize, but I'm going to get to your questions in the chat room. So line them up and let's flip and go. But there's 3 things going on. Either they're tanking, which is what John Davis believes. Sean Payton forgot how to coach, or Sean Payton doesn't have enough Sean Payton players. And I think it's the latter. I believe that Sean Payton knows how to coach. I also believe he's kind of holding Russell Wilson back because he doesn't apparently trust Russell Wilson to run the entire playbook. because there's times like the training wheels can come off for us. It'd be nice. I mean, the season's already lost, so whatever, keep the training wheels on. Keep stinking, lose to Green Bay, lose to Kansas City again, take your bye, lose some more. Like, yes, fine. Don't win another game this year. I'm fine with that. Whatever. I don't like it, but I get it. You need that premium pick. Always got to slow down when I say that. So 3 things are happening. You get to choose. It's choose your own adventure time with the Denver Broncos in 2023. Either they're tanking. That's about the only thing that makes sense. They look so bad. The Damari Mathis play, like, seriously? He should get cut just for that play. So they're either tanking, Sean Payton forgot how to coach, or they don't have enough Sean Payton players. So you can decide. It's one of those 3 things. There is no other choice. Now, Mike Evans, in his mom jeans 5-head type of way, Mike Evans did combine 2 of those. Like, Sean Payton has seen that they don't have the talent, so he's tanking. All right. Wouldn't you know Mike Evans would go for that combo dip, right? You can step away from the buffet, baby. All right? You can. It's okay. But either way, like, Mike Evans double dipping. I'll just single dip and be like, they don't have enough talent. They got some guys. They got a superstar in Pat Surtain. Some of the guys they have that are good, like Justin Simmons, he'll be gone. I mean, if George Payton's any good at his job, which, well, I guess he's not. Maybe Justin Simmons will be here forever and ever because they can't get rid of him. Anyway, it is Orange and Blue today, presented by Sean Ponda. Andrew Mason is on assignment. Of course, he was traveling, everybody. You know, he was in Kansas City, and he got me some interesting post-game interviews and post-game questions. I'm going to get to your questions in the chat room in just a little bit, but let's hear from Sean Payton in the did he forget how to coach realm of things. Here's Sean Payton talking about taking a timeout to give Pat Mahomes more time before the half.
Yeah, listen, and that's a boneheaded mistake by me. They were calling one as well, and I'm off and down. But that was stupid.
They obviously would have taken the time.
Yeah.
So that's on him. He says boneheaded play. Speaking of boneheads, Jerry Jeudy has clown-like tendencies. You don't ever want to get personal. So when I call Jerry Jeudy a clown, it's because I don't actually think he wears makeup and a rubber nose and then goes to kids' parties to entertain and make, balloon animals or whatever. I just think he's not dialed into playing football. The Steve Smith thing, dancing by the NFL Network, whatever, like Jeudy, if you were to play well, you would shut everybody up with your play. You don't like the negative talk. You don't like the naysayers. You don't like people calling you a clown, whatever. Go play better. Nobody's going to say that. So here's Jerry Jeudy lying after the game.
And then I'm going to just do my part, do my job. I don't think about all that, I just think about, I just be where my feet are, you feel me? So, I can't think about the future, can't think about the past, all that is out of my control. So I'm just taking it day by day.
Yeah, it's where his feet are, which is nowhere. He doesn't know about all that. He was asked about the Steve Smith thing. I don't even remember. It's a lie. It's a total lie. I don't even pay attention to that talk. Yeah, you do. Yes, you do, Jerry. You're going around liking, following people on the Carolina Panthers. Like, yeah, we already know that. The quote from Friday, which I got wrong forever, but I got it wrong so much, I just wish there was a director's cut of Friday to make it real. You ain't got to lie to kick it, Craig. Like, yeah, you don't have to lie, Jerry. You don't. Broncos country is a hell of a lot smarter than that. They're a lot smarter than you just lying and be like, what are you talking about? I have no idea what's going on. Okay, lying. Just lying. Jerry Jeudy needs to be traded or released since George Payton can't seem to trade anybody. Randy Gregory's released. What? You'll give me something? Okay, trade. Frank Clark, where he has an illness. I saw him in the locker room last week. He seemed fine. I don't know how his tummy was feeling, but Frank Clark seemed fine. In fact, it seemed like he was going to talk to the media. And then we were told that he wasn't going to talk to us. So whatever. Frank Clark's gone. He's been released. They couldn't trade him. What are you waiting for? When's the rest of this going to happen? Poor Justin Simmons. Here he is after the game.
To keeping out the outside noise, is that more difficult with being 1-5 and knowing that the team may not look the same in a few weeks?
No, I mean, guys know it's part of your job. Obviously, winning is the most important thing, and we know that, and we've been a big part defensively of why we haven't won, and that's just being real with it, and we need to be better, and I think tonight was a step in the right direction, but by no means is it satisfactory towards our goals and what we need to accomplish. So it just is what it is.
God bless Justin Simmons. God bless him. You need more like him, and you got to get rid of him because he's about the only one. Jerry Jeudy has no trade value. Okay? None. You think teams are going to want Jerry Jeudy? And if they call Steve Smith, you know what he's going to say? Don't trade for the guy. He already said that last night. So, yeah, Jerry Jeudy has no trade value. Cortland Sutton has very little trade value. Justin Simmons has some. You're not getting a first rounder. Just stop. But if you can get a second rounder, then you move on. And I hate it because you need more of that guy, and you're going to have less of him because you have too many clowns in the locker room that aren't serious. Justin Simmons is a true professional. He's a true pro, and I love him to death. And I might not talk to him very much anymore because the Broncos should move on. Not because of him. It'll do him some good. Actually, will feel good for Justin if he goes to Pittsburgh, if he goes to San Francisco or wherever. Either way, feel good for him. Don't feel good for the Broncos. But don't weep. Here's how bad it's been for the Broncos because Garrett Bowles was just happy that they scored. Literally.
When you're walking off the field, what were the thoughts going through your head tonight?
We scored, so that was nice, but we didn't score enough, and that's just the bottom line of it is, we moved the ball. I thought we did some really good things. I thought we protected really well, but at the same time, like I said, with me, it starts with me and everyone else to the right of me. We all got to be better.
See, I feel sorry for Garrett there because he's trying to make a joke, and then he realizes the situation, and he's just like, you have to laugh or else you would cry. That's how bad it is with this team. So it's Orange and Blue today. We're presented by Sean Honda. I want your questions in the chat room. So I'll go through them as we go here. Paul says Cecil Mace, best do ever. Paul, best listener ever. Best viewer ever. Big E Bronco says trade. Hear all about the Broncos are trading. Here we go. Now Paul says expects trades on a Tuesday. Why wait? Like, you're waiting around if you're the Denver Broncos, like other teams. I give the example of Van Jefferson deal, which happened on a Tuesday. So there you go. Like, yeah, Rams, and you didn't even hear anything about that. And the Rams who were making a move, right? And Puka Nacua and Tutu Atwell, Puka and Tutu and Cooper and the Cup, like, yeah, they've got their wide receivers. So they just get rid of Van Jefferson for a late round pick. Who cares? But you didn't hear nothing about it. Jerry Jeudy's on the trade block. You think you're going to give Denver anything when you know that he's a malcontent? You know that he's bad in the locker room, allegedly, or whatever I have to say. Like, you think you're going to get anything if you're Denver? If you're George Payton, you're begging people to please take Jerry Jeudy right now. Please. It'll be better. And he's got the talent. And he can't get open, except he wasn't getting open. His effort last night was piss poor. Cortland Sutton at least had effort. Didn't want to help Russell Wilson up after he got rocked out of bounds. I don't want to get into Dalton Reisner gate, right? He didn't help his teammate up. Like, okay, I'll say that about Court, but Court showed effort. Jerry Jeudy showed none. So what are you selling? Exactly. Hey, I got this bag of crap. Do you want it? No. It's crap now. But you could change it. A little hocus pocus, some magic, and like all of a sudden it's good. It's good. The crap good. It's Sony guts, right? Like, oh, it's good. Like, no, it's not good. Jerry Jeudy is not good. He's in fact terrible and god awful and a distraction for this team. You're going after Rod Smith. Rod Smith had more talent in his shoelaces than Jerry Jeudy has in his entire body. Rod Smith was a real one. A Ring of Famer, and I think he should be a Hall of Famer. You're going after Mark Schlereth. He's got 3 Super Bowl rings, right? Going after Steve Smith. Do you remember the time when Smith was with Carolina, and he was triple teamed by Seattle, and it didn't work. They were regularly putting 3 defenders. We always talk about bracket, like, hey, you can bracket a guy. Oh, you're facing Justin Jefferson. Put 2 guys on him. Steve Smith was so flippin' awesome. Seattle put 3 guys on him and couldn't stop him. Okay? So what is it with Jerry Jeudy? Anyway, Klong Ya says they can't let George Payton handle another draft. I 100% agree with that. RJ, is it group therapy time? Yep. That's what it is. That's what it is. Paul's stretched out on the couch right now. It's Friday. F-bomb Friday. Do it, Cecil. Well, here's the thing, Jason, the pot stoner degenerate from up in Greeley. If I were to drop an F-bomb on the airwaves, I would then I'd have to go move into your place and sleep on your couch. Anyway, Best by Cecil Bongrip. All right, Lawrence says, sup, Cease. What up? Covering the dumpster fire alone today. Yeah, Steve. Mace is traveling, and good for him, right? Take a little time away. That's fine. And as Troy says here in the chat room, no need to review. Yeah, I don't need to review last night's game. Andy's saying Bubba Caldwell was better than Jeudy. You know who loved Bubba Caldwell? Peyton flippin' Manning. Do you think? Let's have a little fun, shall we? Let's have fun. Because, boy, I'd love to see Jerry Jeudy go after Peyton Manning. But Peyton would never publicly bash him. That's not his way. Do you think that Jerry Jeudy could have worked with Peyton Manning? I know my answer. It includes a profanity. Hell no. Hell no. H-E double hockey sticks. No. No. Peyton Manning, and there were players. Who was the why do I always forget his name? It's a great story, and I wish I didn't forget his name because then it makes the story not as strong. But there was the one guard, what was it, like a Baylor guard drafted by the Broncos, and he couldn't play. Peyton Manning's like, your job is to push in the chairs. Like, you're not going to play. Your job is to push in the chairs. And he didn't push in the chairs one of their team meetings one time. And Peyton Manning went to John Fox and he said, hey, what's his name didn't push in the chairs? Why, where's he at? We got to get him pushing these chairs. And he was like legit, like wanting to cut the guy because he didn't push in his chairs. You know what Jerry Jeudy'd be doing? Hey, Jeudy, you got pushing in the chairs. He'd probably complain about that. I'm the best at pushing in chairs that I'm not going to do. Like, yeah. And listen, and Cody is a friend and a pretty good tattoo artist, pretty good tight end in the XFL. But Cody Latimer, who was a good man, like he had his things, he had his trials and tribulations, right? Going through alcoholism, and Cody's been public about this, so I'm not speaking out of turn. I would love to get Cody on this show, by the way. But like Cody Latimer was a pretty good receiver, really good special teams guy. Like he had to change his game to become a special teams guy. And Peyton Manning broke him. Peyton Manning broke him because Peyton Manning demanded things from his players. Jerry Jeudy's lucky that Russell Wilson is nice. Russell Wilson is Mr. Positive. I'm not saying Peyton wasn't Mr. Positive, but if you flipped around on Peyton Manning, he'd get in your kitchen. Jerry Jeudy, Peyton Manning would be the GM. If he was on the team, if he was the quarterback, he would be the GM and be like, give me the phone. Give me the phone. I am calling now. Hey, yo, Chris Greer in Miami. I know. You got a bunch of guys. You got Robbie Chosen even there on the PS, whatever. Like, hey, take Jerry Jeudy. Give me anything. I will take a used jockstrap for Jerry Jeudy right now. Thanks. Bye. Click. That's what Peyton Manning would do. So I think to find Sean Payton, guys, just kind of use Peyton Manning as your guide. Would this player work with Peyton Manning? If the answer is no, see ya, Pollyanna. Like, see ya. I don't care. Bye. It's called Not For Long for a reason. So Andy brings up Bubba Caldwell. Peyton Manning loved Bubba. Like, love Bubba. And Bubba was all right. He's all right. Like, Bubba wasn't great. He wasn't the worst thing ever. Like, Bubba was Bubba. But Peyton Manning flipping loved him. Absolutely loved him. So Would Peyton Manning love up on Jerry Jeudy? No. We all know that answer. RJ says, should there have been a lot more coverage of Taylor Swift? I'm not one to lose my mind over stuff I don't care about. And this is not against you, RJ. You asked the question and it's being funny. I get it. Because I know there's a lot of like old man, get off my lawn. Like, why are we talking about Taylor Swift? Oh my God. Like, no, it's good for the game. It's good for the corporation of the NFL because now they're going to try to get a bunch of money from all the women that are watching football now. Like, hey, everybody, we really care. Like, they don't care. That anything that the NFL professes to care about, they don't care about. Remember when D'Angelo Williams got fined for wearing, like, all the cancers have different colors, right? And his mother had breast cancer, but it wasn't like the approved color of the cleats. So they kept fining him. And he's like, my mom has breast cancer. And so now the NFL's like, we've got Cancer Awareness Month. You don't care, NFL. You want to make money. You're a corporation. That's what you do. So, like, now that more women are watching because of Taylor Swift, or young women are watching, or whoever, your demographic is growing in this spot that it wasn't ever really growing that much. There's more women that watch football than you think. And as I've said multiple times, the biggest Broncos fans I know are my sister, Carrie, who's probably in the chat room, and my grandma, Mildred, God rest her soul, who loved John Elway. Like, the two biggest football fans I know that knew everything, Carrie still does, about the Broncos are female. So the Taylor Swift stuff, I personally don't care about it. One, not because I'm like, get off my lawn, what are they doing? Just because it's not ball. I only really care about ball and comic books. But like, if it's not ball, I'm not going to burn a lot of calories being like, what's your favorite Taylor Swift song? Let's shake it off. Of course. No, I really don't care. I don't care. Now, Lawrence says, of the 3 questions that I've asked you, is Sean Payton tanking? Is he? Sean, I know you hate Roger Goodell. Sean Payton, you hate Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell hates you. Are you kind of sticking it? Right? Are you sticking it to Roger Goodell right now, Sean? Are you doing that? Are you doing that? Huh? Clapping? Right, Sean? Are you doing that to your buddy Roger? Just so you can just twist it a little bit, right? You doing that, Sean? Are you doing that? You might be. You might be. But I agree with Lawrence. Sean Payton doesn't have enough Sean Payton guys. There you go. Jason wants me to be a Raiders fan. No. Jedi says, do I have a copy of the John Elway comic? Yes, I do. Thank you very much. If I knew where it was, I would go grab it for you. But I've got tens of thousands of comic books, so it's somewhere around in this general vicinity over here. But yes, I do have the John Elway comic book. Jason, if you were GM and you gave the first overall pick, what do you do with it? Quarterback. It's Caleb Williams, who has, I believe, who was it that said he had some Ben Roethlisberger to him? Now, he's not as big as Ben, and hopefully doesn't have the off-field problems. I don't even want to make fun of it because it's serious problems, of course. We all know about Ben Roethlisberger. So with Caleb, like, you don't have any of that crap, which, by the way, was covered up at Miami of Ohio as well. And then scouts, his college coach had passed away, so I don't want to speak ill of the dead. But like, yeah, that was the thing. The rumor in the scouting community is like, there were some of those rumors, allegedly, or whatever I have to say about Big Ben, that dated back to college, and his coach lied about it. So, you know, hey, everybody, welcome to the world of bacon sausage. Like, you don't want to know. So yeah, it's Caleb Williams. Steven Johnson says no silver lining. Okay. Daryl says, will Jeudy and Sutton be traded before the deadline? Jeudy might be cut, Sutton might be traded, but you're getting late round picks for both. If you trade Jerry Jeudy, it's like for a 5th round pick or a 4th round pick, or you're just outright cutting him, a 1st rounder. There you go. McLaughlin got Cecil and me some rip it up on Jock Market last night. Way to go, Jaleel. Daniel says, is Sutton worth keeping? Not at his price. I love Cortland Sutton. I really loved his effort last night, showing some heart last night. But his price tag, like, would he take less money? He won't. Yeah, no. Paying Tim Patrick and paying Cortland Sutton were a huge mistake. You'll be shocked to know George Payton made a huge mistake. Anyway, RJ's like, I need to find a job too. Best Buy, are you hiring? That's right. Rip It energy drinks. Get your mind out of the gutter, or the dispensary, I should say. Jedi Technique says Chiefs are running plays, janitors drew up. I totally agree. Why do people think Vance Joseph's turned it around? Hey guys, it's better. They held the Chiefs are totally beatable. The defense did their job. The defense was getting fooled. They were getting tricked. It was like they're a toothpick sitting at the barbecue, right? I was fooling y'all. Those was jokes. Like that's what happened. And it's completely obvious. Completely obvious. Troy says it was easy to see. Thank you, Troy. Thank you, Troy. Second time I've used that quote from Half Baked. Big E says, high school football player the hook and ladder. Right. Yeah. And RJ, if VJ fixed the defense, why were they completely unable to do the one thing that they needed to do, which was cover 87? Mel says, I keep hearing that the defense, nice Boss 302, by the way, my favorite Mustang 70 Boss 302. Keep hearing that the defense played hard for Vance. You can still play bad and hard, right? That's right. There we go. Steve says, should we not give this more time? I didn't expect Sean to fix this. There are 5 to 6 years of mismanagement. We're 6 games in, and folks just keep screaming. I think Sean Payton showed up and things were worse than he thought. I think he took this job thinking he could make the playoffs because Nathaniel Hackett's a joke or whatever. And then he gets here, and then I bet now he has more sympathy for Nathaniel Hackett. Doesn't change his mind or what he said about Nathaniel Hackett, but I think that's the case. How well could this defense realistically perform under competent coaching? They're better than you think. They're better than you think. And you saw it with Ejiro Evero. And I know the defense collapsed late in the year, that last month of the season, not just the Christmas massacre. Like, take the last month of Denver stats, and then these 6 games, so 10 games total. This Denver defense has been awful, dating back to last year. But I guarantee you, Ejiro Evero would have a better performance. I guarantee you it would. Vance Joseph has been the worst defensive coordinator in the history of defensive coordinators. Close enough. Anyway. Jeremy says, nice avatar, Jeremy. Maxi, if the Broncos accept the inevitable, what is a reasonable timeline for this franchise to be competitive again? 2 years, 2025. 2024 will be about Caleb getting his feet wet, maybe 9-8 or whatever. Stupid 17 games. 9-8, something like that. May check. I hope I got that right. The Gut. That's a cool name. Gutkowski. The Gut. From The Gut. It's Matt Walden's article. Anyway, yesterday felt like a really bad preseason game. Yep. Ken says, hello, hero. Well, hello, Ken. How are you? And then Lawrence like, you said Vance Joseph. Yes, I did, because good teams would have fired him. And I've been over this a time or two again. But he has good quotes. That's right. We're back. There you go. By not firing VJ during the season, does Peyton have a scapegoat who can fire in the offseason? Take a mulligan for this season, Daniel? That's a good question. Yes, but I think there's multiple scapegoats because there's multiple problems. Vance Joseph is not the answer. Vance Joseph is not good at his job. He's not good at all. Never really has been outside of one season in Arizona. Hey, when he had J.J. Watt, everybody, he was really good. Okay. When they had Bradley Chubb and Von Miller going nuts. Lawrence is like, Jared Stidham. Nope. Stidham's not an answer. Stidham doesn't do anything. Stidham's a nice backup. Not this time, but you did say come Monday, VJ will be gone. Yes, because good teams would have fired Vance Joseph. I'm shocked that they didn't. But good teams would have fired Vance Joseph. So there you go. I don't know what else you want me to say, right? I was wrong. They haven't fired that god-awful defense coordinator. My bad, guys. They kept an awful defensive coordinator. Come on. RJ, do you think Caleb Williams will come here? Yeah. And then Paul says Mims can play. Use him. They don't have any explosive plays. I wrote about it in my 3 observations. You could use Marvin Mims. Mace said it this morning on Schlereth and Evans when I was filling in, there were 5. I feel like Office Space. How about as many as 5? Although the number was 4 from one of the Bobs. But anyway, 5 wide receivers played offensive snaps for the Broncos last night. Even little Jordan Humphrey, fresh off the practice squad. And Marvin Mims had the fewest snaps, 12. That's just wrong. That's just wrong. Andrew says Caleb or bust. I get it. Paul says 1-16. Holy Diver. Love hearing from Holy Diver. Broncos fan of over 50 years. Started valuing players around the roster and start thinking about the draft. That's where I'm at. I'm not going to let the Broncos hurt me anymore. Eric says the Broncos need to fire George Payton, all the hideous free agents that he signed for Sean Payton. Can't blame Vance Joseph for the loss. That was the offense that lost it. There you go. Now, Ken's saying he still wears his Broncos gear. Okay, Ken. Right on, man. Good job, man. Good job. Jason says I need to come up to Greeley with the chicken burrito and the Rip energy drinks. All right. Oh, wow. Jason says, first off, we have our franchise quarterback already. He's on our practice squad. Give me some Gucci DiNucci. I see him every week. I'm tempted to talk to him, but then I'm like, nah, I like Ben DiNucci. There you go. What record do they need to finish the top 2 pick? They don't need to win any more games. They don't need to win any more games. There you go. There you go. David says clearly Wilson's not part of the solution, so it's time to experiment and put the past behind us. No disrespect. I will respectfully disagree with that, David. I think Russell should just keep playing, because what if Stidham plays a little bit better and then you get some wins? I don't think he would play better. I could be totally wrong, but if Jarrett Stidham plays better and then you win, and now you've got 5 wins at the end of the year and you're pick number 7 instead of pick number 1 or 2. When Brock Osweiler came in 2017, it was against the Colts, and he won that one game. It was the Indianapolis Colts that had the number 2 pick. Remember, they traded back and to get Quentin Nelson. So that draft, the Broncos were not able to get Baker at 1 because they couldn't, because Cleveland just dug in their heels as soon as the Senior Bowl was over. It's oh, he's going to be number 1. And at the beginning of the Senior Bowl, it was he might be a first rounder. He was number 1. Number 2, Sam Darnold. Number 3, 2, Saquon Barkley. 3, Sam Darnold. Am I getting this wrong or right? And then, of course, the Broncos at 5 with Bradley Chubb. But just winning that one game, because they played Brock Osweiler, they won that one game, and it messed up their draft position. So, no, I don't think Jarrett Stidham needs to play. 1, he's nothing more than a backup. There's nothing more future starter. Maybe he's a guy nope. That's not it. Jeffrey, why are we not using Mims more? I'm going to ask Sean Payton that next week, and I don't go to the coach press conferences because I go to the locker room, but I really want to know the answer. Maybe I should just ask Marvin. Marvin talks every week in the locker room. He's really good to talk to. Lawrence says 5 and 12. What would it take for you to trade Surtain? 2 first rounders? A first rounder gets me to pick up the phone. 2 first rounders gets me to trade him. I just hope that he does not trade it. He can be a piece for the future. And Pat Surtain is the type of player. 1, would Peyton Manning like him? Yes. 2, is he going to be here when they turn things around? Yes. He can be that type of player. There are not many players on the roster that are like that. Juan, what's up, Juan? Says just trade as many players as you can. Whole culture of this team is really bad. And that's the key word there. The culture is corrupt on this team. Too many losers. And I'm sorry if that offends, but that's the truth. They have too many losers. So not to get too crunchy or scientific on you, when you think the same thought over and over, your brain, the synapses in your brain grow closer together. So they hardwire together. so that when it sends an impulse, something happens, this is how I react. Something happens, well, it's because I'm dumb anyway. Something happens, well, it's because I'm ugly anyway. Something happens because I blah, blah. Whatever you have that you think a lot. Maybe it's something good, not something bad. Your brain hardwires so it thinks it faster. The culture of this team, for many of these players, is you're a loser. And when something goes wrong, you immediately think, here we go again, we're going to lose. Now, Russ, to his credit, is like, Mr. We're right there, guys. Let's go, guys. Because his brain is wired to think positively. I know which one I'd rather be. I know which one I try to be. Honestly, this is real talk. I try to be a positive thinker because I understand that what you think about, you bring about, and that your synapses that fire together, wire together. Like you're literally training your brain by what you think. It's why I always say, be careful what you think. It's not be careful what you wish for. Wishes are a fool's errand. Be careful what you think, because your thoughts create your reality. So with the Broncos, they're losers because they think, here we go again, guys. Oh man, we suck. Like we suck again. Like they're that. That's them. So Juan, thank you. It is culture. Culture is the problem here. Jason says he drops the F-bomb because Cecil can't. Well, thank you, Jason. Come down tomorrow off Federal. Jason, so get to Denver tomorrow, and I will see you. I think it's from 5 to 7 tomorrow. Somewhere off Federal. I'm not exactly sure where. I think it's a Mexican supermarket. But Miklo from Blood In, Blood Out is going to be there. So I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to go see Miklo. I don't know the actor's name. I should know. But it's like Blood In, Blood Out's one of my favorite movies of all time. An epic Chicano tale. And it's like, cool, go meet Miklo tomorrow. I think it's 5 to 7, somewhere down on Federal in Denver. Anyway, Jason, see you then, maybe, hopefully. I don't know. Lauren says doesn't have a little men. Here we go. The Gut says, I think they're tanking. Yeah, could be. Could be. Hey, to Sharon. Hey. David, if SP thinks Wilson's not up to the job and only gives him half the playbook, why not let Stidham with the entire playbook? Because Stidham's not as good as Russell Wilson. I don't want to fight this Stidham battle because, and this isn't David, so David, I'm not talking about you, but for Broncos fans in general, a general statement, a broad statement, y'all love your backup quarterbacks that can't play. Why did this team mess around with Trevor Siemian? One, Paxton Lynch sucked, but you should have played Paxton so you could have made the decision faster. Hey, you can't play, get him out of here, because Trevor couldn't play. Like, sorry, nice guy, tough guy, smart guy. I'm like, why are you playing football, dude? Like, you're ruining your brain. But like, yeah, Trevor couldn't play. But he was the backup. Everybody loves the backup. I still get Team Sloter texts. Like serious texts. Like they should have just kept Sloter, man. So, yeah, Jarrett Stidham would have a fourth of that playbook. Not a full playbook. Anyway, Colin says, AMA, is it bad that I'm excited the Broncos will be playing? And that's the thing, like, and I'm glad that especially manly men are talking more about mental health because it's a thing, guys. Hey, revelation time. Like, no, it's okay to say I need help. There's nothing wrong with that. Actually, that's very strong. It's a strong statement to say to someone, I need help. Watching the Broncos is bad for your mental health. It's been bad for my physical health. And I'm just like, that's why I'm just done. I'm not going to let them hurt me anymore or make me physically ill. Like where I'm on the verge of throwing up. That's happened to me each of the last 3 postgame shows. So, yeah. Colin, I'm glad you're glad. Good, man. Go be happy that the Broncos, go watch some other football game or go fishing. When I drive by the Platte, because I live in Roxborough, shout out Roxborough, and I drive through Waterton Canyon every day, like Vic Fangio, every day. Anyway, I drive through Waterton Canyon and I have to cross the Platte and I see the guys out there fishing and I'm like, that blankety blanker is the happiest blankety blanker on the planet. I am so envious when I drive by the fishermen. I don't even fish, but just I'm standing in water and hip waders and I'm trying to catch me dinner. That guy's having the most fun ever. I'm driving to Broncos headquarters to cover a team with a tyrant as a head coach, allegedly. Anyway. Oh, Jedi Techniques. I see what you did there. See Jedi Techniques. He's a real one. I became a huge Panthers fan this year. Hope they win out. Yeah, hope they do win. And let the Broncos get their pick, and let the Cardinals win, and let the Bears win, and all these teams that are there at the top of the draft. Justin says, thanks for flipping doing this show. Thank you. More AMA coming from the chat room. And look, we're going overtime. I'm at 45 minutes. I don't even care. I'm doing Denver Sports Tonight at 6. Right there from that desk behind me, that table behind me. I'm doing it live from Roxborough. Anyway. Let's see. What is the obsession with Peyton drafting soft players? And this is the thing. Scott McCloughan, who was GM of Washington years ago, he said the physical stuff is easy to see. When I have 4 first-round quarterbacks, I'll go back to the famous year that soiled the sanctity of my home. I will go back to that year. I had 4 quarterbacks with a first-round grade. For an NFL team, by the way, as a consultant. Number 1, Carson Wentz. Number 2, Jared Goff. Number 3, Paxton Lynch. Number 4, Dak Prescott. I might have been amongst the few people that had first-round grades on Dak Prescott. And everyone had a first-round grade on Paxton Lynch. Why? Because the physical stuff was easy to see. Now, I know George Paton didn't draft soft players, but I'm bringing this up to highlight the fact of when you look at Greg Dulcich, who I don't want to call him soft because that's mean. It's rude. It's rude. I like Greg good enough. He's hurt quite a bit, but like you're looking at the physical, not you, Andy, but George Paton is he's obsessed with the physical guys. Look at that guy. Look at that bubble. Look at those legs. Look at the physical. He's so fast. Well, can you play? Montrell Washington, who almost lost his job last night for Kansas City, almost kept the Broncos in the game. But like Montrell Washington, he's really fast, guys. He tore up Florida. Florida sucks. Okay? Like, so George Paton, and this is why he's not a good GM, and I'm not saying that I would be better, and I'm not saying that I totally forgive it. I did, like, the Paxton thing really bothers me, because had I been able to talk to him, I didn't talk to him at the Combine, obviously hell, the Broncos barely talked to him at the Combine, but, like, had I talked to that guy, it'd have been pretty easy to figure out. It's not everything upstairs you need to have upstairs. I still have Dak Prescott. Carson Wentz fell off for other reasons I won't get into on this show. And Jared Goff's turned in to be like kind of okay. And Jared Goff's not real bright anyway. Kind of like Paxton, but it's that extra stuff. It's like the mental side. It's the motivation in players. Physical stuff's easy to see. Hey, he's really fast. Sure. Jerry Jeudy is the best route runner in the league. Can't get open and doesn't try. What does that mean? Speaking of a player that I missed on, I had Jerry Jeudy above Justin Jefferson like everybody else did. And Justin Jefferson is the ballingest of ballers of all time. And Jerry Jeudy's a bust, a total bust, just a guy, and it's insult to guys. I see a lot of girls. I see a lot of guys too, Waterboy. Like, Jerry Jeudy is terrible, is awful, and it has nothing to do with his physical skill set. You want to talk about his hands, whatever. I will tell you that his routes and his speed are still legit. He just doesn't want to put it all together. And now it's done. Like, it's done. Enough. Get rid of him. Move on. Paul says, I just hope they tank. All right. Here's another AMA. Jason. I think I already said that. And not been a good buyer. Why do you believe he'll be a good seller? That's right, David. And I think that's George Paton for GP. George Paton is not that. So there you go. Wesley, is there any way this team ends up outside the top 2 picks in the draft? Doesn't go QB in the first round. Yes, there's 6 left tackles in this first round. 6. Usually there's like 2 or 3. There's 6 in this first round. So yeah, if you don't have Drake May, I'll assume Shadur Sanders doesn't come out. And I believe Shadur might need a little bit more time. I wouldn't mind if Shadur stayed around another year at Colorado, not just for the Colorado benefits, but like for his benefit. He needs to be faster with his release for NFL. So yeah, if you don't have 1 or 2, you're getting a tackle, a damn good tackle. Holy Diver says, "Don't be fooled. Mace is eating barbecue as we speak." Yeah, maybe. What is it? Jack Stack, whatever. KC barbecue. I prefer Texas barbecue. Is it Franklin's down in Austin? Somebody Google that for me. I think it's Franklin's. And Hoover's, but Hoover's is more soul food in Austin. Loved their meatloaf. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. RJ says, "Careful, Jude may start dancing in your background." Yeah, maybe. Well, I do have bears. Was it KJ's KJ who's the bears in the crib and everything? Like, we had a bear in the front yard 2 weeks ago, last week, something like that. So yeah, the bears are out. There was a coyote on the hogback. I was spotlighting him, had my red dot on him, and he had something cornered, and it was pitch black dark. So I had spotlight, I had a red dot on him. I didn't know what he had, and then something like moved in the brush in front of me, and he was probably, I don't know, 40 yards from me on the hogback, which is my backyard. And when the brush moved and I didn't know what it was and I couldn't spotlight it, I did not see what it was. I was like, it's time to go in the house. So yeah, I might have some wildlife dancing in my background here in beautiful, beautiful Roxborough. Ba, 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 da, da, da. Oh boy, let's go. Colin, AMA, how many franchise quarterbacks do you believe are in the upcoming draft? 2. Assuming Shadur doesn't come out. 2. And as I study further, there may be more. But if we think franchise quarterback, I'm thinking of the CJ Stroud type, Anthony Richardson type, like you just play him. And even Richardson wasn't seen as a franchise. He was just seen as like super athletic. I don't know. And he can't stay healthy. The dude plays with no regard for his personal safety. But like, look at CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. I think Young could have sat behind Dalton. And that's not a bad thing necessarily. But there were 2 franchise quarterbacks this year, plus Anthony Richardson. And it was like, okay, Young's going to play, Stroud's going to play. We're seeing now Stroud can handle it. We're seeing Young can't yet. So why isn't Andy Dalton playing? Anyway, guts, addition by subtraction. Yeah. And then Lorenzo, rolling in the benzo. I used to say that when Lorenzo Doss was here. Yeah, Damari Mathis is not good at football. I'm sorry. I liked him coming out. I felt the Broncos got, that was the where he should have gone. He should have been a 3rd rounder. They didn't overdraft him. George Payton didn't overdraft somebody, guys, and ladies. But like, Damari's picked on every week. It's clearly affecting his play. He's a bad tackler now. And then he goes to hit Jerick McKinnon instead of tackling Mahomes. Like, yeah. Here we go. Mark, is there any world where they lose enough to get a high pick and still keep Russ? Yes. Yes. Let's say, for example, they're not in the top 2 and Shadur comes out. So you get Shadur Sanders. I wouldn't mind Russell Wilson for another year. I know you don't want to hear that. And then Shadur Sanders kind of sits behind him and develops, gets him ready, and then takes over maybe even that season. Remember, Alex Smith kept Pat Mahomes on the bench until week 17 against the Broncos when it was Mahomes versus Paxton, and we all thought that was going to be the future. And then it wasn't for one team. So, yeah, there's no shame in a guy sitting for a year. Carson Palmer sat behind John Kitten, who can't, John Kitten was okay enough, but like, let's not get crazy there. Gut says Mims will get more throws. Yep. Trade him already. I hope that's about Jerry Jeudy. I'm pretty sure it is. And then Justin's like, I heard Jolcich got hurt again. Yep. I thought he wouldn't play until week 7. So I think Peyton was getting a little bit ahead of himself because Greg Dulcich is a big part of what this team wants to do. And he's always hurt. Beavis says, Jerry Jeudy, bye, Felicia. Yep. Klangya, what would it take? Sertan, 2 firsts. Do I have anyone to eyes target for DC in 24? Interesting. I'll keep my eye out there. It seems like there's a few secondary coaches. Nobody at the top of my head right now. My brain's not really around that right now. Let me take a quick look though, because I know I've got some favorites out there. So let my brain think. Because you think of like who's on the come up, who is kind of that next man up type of thing in this league. Who would you kind of like to see kind of get that next call up, if you will, from a defensive coordinator standpoint? And then you look at the defense that you have already. Does someone take, let's say, even a Brandon Lynch from Cleveland based on the way that their defense has been performing? You would wonder about that. Greg Manewski's here to take over now. He's not your long-term answer. Christian Parker, who the Broncos have on their own staff, he's a future defensive coordinator. I don't know if, being on VJ staff actually hurts him. And then he would, get brought up and then get the job after that. So just looking over, we look at anyone underneath Dan Quinn, right? Maybe a Joe Witt, Al Harris, something like that. We do know that, hey, Dre Bly's linebackers coach, or Kelvin Shepard. Dre Bly's defensive back coach. Sorry, Kelvin Shepard's linebacker coach there in Detroit. So, like, okay, yeah, there's some names you could look at and that you could look towards, and just kind of browsing really quick at some more potential. Chris Kiffin. We can get you Kiffin to run the defense. Okay, I like the sounds of that. A Cody Grimm, right? Like the sounds of that. Get you a Grimm running the show defensively. Tom Donatel, he's with the Chargers, so you could pluck from a divisional opponent there. Chris Ash from the Raiders is a potential. Let's see. Ronaldo Hill. And there's Ryan Slowick, whatever. Aubrey Pleasant. Interesting. So again, I'm just going over some defensive coaches' names. Gerard Mayo, interesting name, of course, there. And he kind of wants to be the head coach in waiting in New England, by the way. So we'll see about that. So yeah, just some interesting names going over of who you kind of keep the eye on for next year. What's cool is guys who like bust in this league. Aaron Curry's linebacker coach. So what was he? Top 10 pick, top 5 pick, bust, like complete bust. Linebackers coach for the Steelers. How about you get a linebackers coach from the Steelers, right? Like, sounds pretty good. Working under Mike Tomlin, the coolest guy on the planet. So, yeah, there's some interesting names out there. He might be the Larry Foote. Hey, Larry Foote's out there. So yeah. So that's about it. That's about it for right now. But yeah, thanks for that question, because it gets me to kind of look and kind of fast forward and maybe even start texting some people and see who is out there. Holy Diver's going to play some Rocket League. I'm going to play some PUBG. Of course, I'm on at 6. Denver Sports tonight. So make sure to stay tuned for that. I'm coming up on an hour on this show. So William says bye. MKT says, when they may. I finally got to it now that I'm about to wrap up. But anyway, Andrew Simmons deserves to be traded to a contender. Totally agree with that. Get a 7th rounder for Judy. Yeah, get whatever you can. It's addition by subtraction. Jeremy. Sean Payton reminds me of Mr. Coach Klein after he lost his playbook and forgot how to coach. Maybe he has high heels. I don't know. Could be a thing. Jason, when Smoking Gun going to sell the beanies? Soon, Jason. I'll bring you one with your favorite leaf on it. Anyway, Elway's drafting sucked. Yep. Simmons deserves to go to a contender. Can CL get a fake spoiler for me tempo for Jerry Judy? That sounds about right. See, Terry knows a thing or two about hot rods and off-roading. So yeah, Terry, you're right on the money. It's like the guys, and listen, my youngest has a Toyota Corolla that we got her, and it's a fantastic car. It's going to run forever. Should stop running into things. But anyway, like, I always laugh when I see the dudes with the Corolla and the coffee can muffler and like the whale tail. Because, like, one, that's a nice compact car. It's a nice commuter car. It is not fast whatsoever. I mean, Corolla S, like, it's not fast at all. So I always laugh. So Jerry Jeudy probably has a Corolla with a whale tail and a coffee can muffler. There you go. Simmons to the Eagles. Simmons with the Contender. Jeudy to the Panthers for 6 and Jeremy Chin. Not going to happen. I would love it if it did happen, but whatever. Brian, yes, that Brian. 72 is a dud. Yeah. Broncos J. Why does VJ still have a job? I have no idea. Good teams would have fired him after Miami game. So there you go. Some Discords talking Surtain to Dallas. Okay. Gut says Jeudy is 7. Yeah, just get him out of here. Get him out of here. Like, yeah, just get him. Why does VJ still have a job? Right? Right? I know, right? Sean Payton said he didn't even know when the deadline was. Wow, Sharon. Like, it's now. Sean Payton, the deadline is now. Get rid of these guys. Some for good reasons, some for themselves, like Justin Simmons. You should not get rid of Justin Simmons, but you should get rid of Justin Simmons. You know what I mean? Oh, boy. Beavis, what's the likelihood Peyton is sort of dialing it in position for Caleb Williams? He might be sticking it to Mr. Roger Goodell. Jared Judy's not worth a bag of footballs. Deflated footballs. Pot Stoner Degenerate says Jeudy to the Raiders. He's kind of a Raider, right? Kind of fits that Raiders, like, hey, you can't really play and you need a second chance. Come to Oakland. Well, now Las Vegas. Whatever. Kez, I got these cheeseburgers, man. Yeah. Jerry Jeudy for anything. And when I say anything, I mean anything. There you go. Almost saw me smile. Yep. Not his draft pick. Yep. Still got to get rid of him. And here's what I agree with. From Hood Tales. Let Sean Payton rebuild it. Let him rebuild it. Yeah. Trade Jeudy for a washer machine. You can use the old tumbler from old washers as like a fire pit. Somebody told me that. Anyway, Paul, no. What do you say? No. What did I say? No. No. Give me some mints. Some mints for Jerry Jeudy. Okay. Hell no. Oh, yeah. What did I say hell no about? Anyway, it's been a long show. It's been a long day. But I appreciate everyone for coming out to the AMA. I'm just browsing through the chat room real quick. I'm sorry if I missed your... I'm sorry if I took long. I'm sorry if I took too long to get to your questions. And then I'm sorry if I didn't actually get to your question. I apologize there. But I'm having fun here on a Friday. A little overtime, right? Well, we did a 15-minute show yesterday because Mace had to go to the stadium and, like, I don't want to keep him in traffic. So we did a 15-minute show yesterday. I do an hour and some show today. It's fine, baby. It's fine. We got it. We got this. Andrew, the best YouTube wide receiver of all time. Yep. That's right. Did I reference Showgirls? We Ain't Got No Ties. Did I reference that? Oh, no. See ya, Pollyanna. See, look at Brian. Look at Brian over there. We didn't block you in the chat room, Brian. I don't think you got blocked on the text line. I don't know. I haven't asked anybody. Asked anybody. Money Talks. That's right. Jets KC. Jeff. Oh, Hefe KC. Sorry. Hefe. El Hefe. Oh, there you go. Cease the real one. Dom, you're the real one, man. Appreciate you. Do I care about irrelevant media outlets? That's funny that you asked that, Brian. Because the answer is no. I don't like. What was it? Who was it that went off on some baseball thing where some fan with a badge got a credential? Like, we need to tighten up. I can't tell you to lose weight, but I can just say tighter. Like, I think all teams need to stop letting fans with badges get access, because then all you do is blow bubbles at players. and never say anything critical. And it's not about being critical. I don't wake up and think, how can I dump on the Broncos today? Like, it's not that. It's just about seek the truth and speak the truth. Like, okay, what's the real story with this team? Do I think Sean Payton forgot how to coach? No. Do I think Sean Payton's tanking? No? Question mark? Do I think Sean Payton doesn't have enough of his players? Yes, that's right. 100%. I totally believe that. But we get too many times. It's mostly during training camp. I'm a credential snob, so I'm probably the worst person to ask this about, or maybe the best. I can't stand when fans with badges show up and be like, tell us how good you are, Justin Simmons. You're the greatest, Justin. I love you, Justin. You want a salad, Justin? You're like, you want my granola bar, Justin? Like, you're the best ever, Justin. It's stupid. It's dumb. Like, don't be dumb. So, like, there's too many. These teams are letting media outlets in that are very team friendly because it's good for them. Because you're going to give someone access. They're going to feel like a bigwig because they have access, and they're never going to say anything bad about your team. So it's state-run media, basically. And I'm talking about the Broncos specifically. I think Brian wants me to talk about something else, but I don't talk about other sports. Sorry. But yeah. So, Alana Rizzo, right? Wasn't Alana Rizzo? Brian, you can remind me in the chat room there. But yeah, like, there's too many people that show up that are just like, you're the best. And it's like, and again, I'm in the locker room. So I'm talking this junk about Jerry Jeudy. Guess who's going to see Jerry Jeudy on or Wednesday? Me. I'm going to be like this close from Jerry Jeudy. Not that he's going to do anything. Not that I'm going to do anything. But I say this stuff knowing that I have to go face these people that I talk about. And it's not that it's uncomfortable, although Donald Stevenson wanted to kick my ass. Like, it's just be better. Be better. Like, I'm not going to say any sort of analysis of what I see because I don't want to go overboard. Perhaps sometimes I do. I'll admit that. But I don't want to go overboard. Like, that guy sucks and they all sucks and this guy sucks. Everyone sucks. Like, but if I critique your game, I'm also going to see you the next week. So, yeah, Jerry Jeudy acts like a clown. And I don't have any issue saying that. And it doesn't matter if he hears it or not, because he hears everything and it affects him, and it shouldn't affect you at all. At all. But yet it still does. Would you like some tea? We all love Mike Purcell, Thunder Ridge, right? But wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the next moves. And I like Mike. I do. Good to talk to. Local dude. But I believe that Mike Purcell will be one of the next moves, one of the next players to get cut. Could totally be wrong, but that's something. What, PJ Mustipher? Where's Tyler Lancaster out? He was in the game last night. If Sean was tanking, he wouldn't have allowed the win against Chicago. Players don't tank. Coaches might want to tank. So there you go. 10,000 comic books. Sick brag, bro. That's right. That's damn right. Jerry can come work in the beef packing plant here in my small town. Christian, where are you from, man? Tell me. I'm from Grover. I don't think, as someone who was a pig farmer, I don't think I could work in a meat packing plant. That's just me. Hey, the Chiefs have Matt Nagy. The offense has regressed. Yeah, they're kind of jerking around. Juan, Cecil, what do you think about Drake May? Not as tough as Caleb Williams in terms of coverage. Early swipe. He's clearly the number 2. I do like Caleb's ability to keep plays alive, and I like his pass placement better. Drake has good accuracy. I want him to work on his pass placement. So, like, can you be this accurate between shoulder to shoulder? I'm not talking about CU. But can you be this accurate where you can lead a guy to this shoulder or make him turn with this shoulder? Because Peyton Manning could do it. Caleb Williams can do it. Shadur Sanders can do it. He's got to see guys open. Shadur, the thing with Shadur is he needs to go, throw, faster. Like, Shadur has to wait. Where's my watch? my Citizen Echo Drive with Captain America shield on it. So not a lot of people, not a lot of guys wear watches anymore. I don't know why, but yeah. So there. So Shadur Sanders has to speed it up. He has pass placement though. Like his pass placement is elite. Caleb Williams is elite. Drake May's got good accuracy, and there's a difference. There is a difference. Russ is the common denominator. Okay. Darren says Williams will not come out if Denver has the first pick. Yeah, that's a possibility. Caleb already gave his list of teams. Broncos ain't one. Keith says, nice to see you. Nice to see you, Keith. And that's the thing. I think the defense and offense are too inconsistent. I wrote this about my 3 observations. Like, you've got a team that can't play offense for more than a quarter or a half, Eddie, and you've got a defense that shows up for, about the same amount of time. It's a recipe for disaster. Brian says tanking has to be the most positive option. Yeah. What if Penner said he's not paying another coach a salary that's not working for him? Yeah, perhaps. But again, good teams would have fired Vance Joseph already. So if that's a business decision, if the Walton Penner group is now all of a sudden pinching pennies, that's a problem. Keeping VJ is tanking. Vance Joseph is having the time of his life. So there you go. He's doing what they need to do. Stuck. Okay. Could the Broncos trade for Fields? Yeah, maybe. And I will start jumping in the draft probably November. I'm going to do it a month early. I have to stick with the regular season for fantasy purposes because I watch every game twice and I chart plays. So sick brag, bro. But like, I don't have time because of fantasy football to fully jump into the college prospects. I had a question about the defensive prospects here. I've glanced at the tackles. I've glanced at the quarterbacks. But like to say who are the best defensive players, like I don't know that yet. But just give me some time, please. I will be there for you, and I will get them done. All right. Scheme the wide receiver open. Yeah, it's got to get open. Better tackling at Pro Bowls. Andrews, I'm going to steal that line from you. I'm embracing the tank. Never, Brian. Never. Think Sean Payton could do wonders for Fields. Possibly. And yes, there's younger quarterbacks that he's worked with, but remember, Drew Brees wasn't his guy. He just got him. And he became his guy. So maybe that's the best thing. He worked with a young Tony Romo. Yeah, Romo kind of sucked, though. Like, it'd be like working with a young Jimmy Garoppolo. He worked with a young Eastern Illinois. He's worked with a young Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, Garoppolo kind of sucks. He worked with a young Tony Romo. Yeah, he came out of nowhere, which, hey, that's cool, right? Great story. Dated Jessica Simpson. Where's the Jessica Simpson cam? Yeah, it doesn't matter. I kind of would like a reclamation project for Sean Payton, but if you can get Caleb Williams, you get Caleb Williams. That's for sure. And should have kept Chad Kelly. Jose is right on it. I'm just getting the Sloter comments now. Wow. Holy cow. And Brian's, yeah. Yes, I am neighbors with Brandon Cristal. And no, I don't watch major fishing cups. Yep. One win and cost you a draft pick. Wow, Justin. 4 season tickets, not went to a single game in 3 years. No, be careful, Justin. And I'll take your comment off the screen because the Broncos keep track of that stuff. And I know people who have lost their season tickets because they don't go. So just be careful. That totally wasn't Justin. That was somebody else. That was Brian. What is the best way Broncos can screw over KC? Oh, geez. Well, the KC got all the players they should have got, like Rashee Rice, Isaiah Pacheco, Jalen Watson. Who's the offensive tackle? Abraham Lucas, right? Is he there or is he Seattle? Anyway. Oh, let's see. Wrapping it up. Wrapping it up. Hell yes, Gerald. Yeah. I don't even know what I'm agreeing on, but yes. Jose's agreeing. There you go. I agree that I would agree with that too. We should have a locate Mace app. Mace should be a food critic. That should be part of his duties. I'm the video game critic. Although I haven't written about video games in a while. I should do that. Oh, Franklinson is in Austin. Yes, that's right. That's my favorites. Like they only make so much, I believe, and then they like stop. And you have to get there early and stand in line. Focus. Yeah. Jim, Peyton Manning's the next GM. I'd love it. I don't think that's what Peyton wants to do. I think he wants to be like the president of football, or he wants to be an owner. So, I think that next step for Peyton Manning is above GM. But I guarantee you this, and I say this in full seriousness because I have his phone number. How many times can I brag on this show? If Peyton Manning is hired by the Broncos, I will be asking him for a job. And not because I just have to work at Best Buy or whatever. Like, no, I will ask Peyton Manning for a job with the Broncos. It won't be, and I'm not better than all their scouts or whatever. I'm not saying any of that. But if you want another set of eyes that loves researching prospects, like unknown prospects, you want that guy, and Peyton already knows I can do it. I'm going to go do it. And Peyton likes me. So, yeah, if my buddy Peyton Manning gets a job with the Broncos, I am legit. Now, he'll probably tell me no. I probably don't have the credentials to work for an NFL team. Whatever. I've consulted for teams, not the Broncos ever. But, like, yeah, if Peyton Manning is hired by the Broncos, I will be asking him for a job. I've said that before. I don't feel any shame in saying that. I don't even feel shame in him saying no. But I'm going to ask. Hell, I got into this business because I asked if I could join Mark Schlereth after I was on with him for half an hour during my lunch break when I was a machinist at S&H Products in 2003. And Stink kept me on for half an hour because he didn't know about fantasy. Nobody did at the time. And I was playing fantasy since 93. I'm an expert. And so I talked to Stink for 20, 30 minutes on the air as a caller on my lunch break. I thought I was going to get in trouble. And then I went home and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to email the producer, happened to be Andy Lindahl. Shout out Andy. And I said, hey, I don't want any money. I just want to talk football. I was the guy that Stink was on fantasy football. The next Friday I was on with Stink for an hour. The next Friday after that, I was on with Stink for an hour. The next Friday after that, you get the point? So I got started in this industry because I have no professional training, no college degree. I went to 1 year community college and I didn't even go to class. Laramie County Community College. But because I can blab and I did win FFA Creed speaking events. Boy, I'm really bragging tonight. You better watch out. If there's anyone that could speak the FFA Creed or extemporaneous speaking, it's Cecil Lemmy. But because I have felt confidence in my voice and I knew a lot about fantasy football and I just asked, Mark Schlereth said yes. 20 years later, here I am on your TV or phone or computer. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, so like, yeah, focus, Cecil. Focus. Yeah. But that's right. Agent says go Buffs. There you go. Daniel, I miss Gary Kubiak. I miss him too. I'm the movie quotes GOAT. Knocked up, tighter. That's right. Man, I'm just catching up to that. Holy cow. Huh. Yeah, Jason, I'm coming up to Greeley sometime, buddy. So watch your email. Cecil isn't a keyboard warrior. Show up in a Ronald McDonald custom outfit. Like, hey, you fit right in. There you go. Oh, Liberal Kansas. I've been through Liberal Kansas. Way to go, Christian. Right on. Right on. Sniper says, what's my opinion on Penix Jr.? Not as good as people think. Again, early swipe. I may fall in love with a guy. I start in December. I'm going to start in November this year because I have to, because the Broncos suck. So, and nobody ever feel bad for me because I don't get a day off until the day after the Super Bowl or whatever. I get to talk football. Not a meat packing plant like my man Christian, but I was a farmer and a rancher and like a construction worker. Wasn't very good at it. I was a machinist, pretty damn good machinist. Didn't love it. So yeah, nobody feels sorry for me because I have to go watch football. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, whatever. But I thought Cecil was a swatch, dude. Oh, there you go. Glancing at college football bong grip. That's right, Jason. What do we do with Russ? Restructure his deal and keep him. Restructure his deal and keep him. If he doesn't restructure, you move on. You move on. There you go. Trade for more number 1 picks instead of Williams? Yeah, maybe. The flex. That's right. Cowboy college bond grips. I remember when I said I went to Last Chance Cowboy College and somebody was like, there's a college for cowboys? And so when someone says something dumb, you just agree with them. Yeah, there's a cowboy college. I learned how to rope and ride Broncos. Anyway, my voice is cracking. I need to go. I have an hour left at 6. So, see, Dave understands. Dave understands. Cecil loves him some Cecil. Well, at least somebody does, right? If that doesn't sound pathetic, I don't know what is. Jason. All right. I think I caught up to the chat room. An hour and 20 minutes of Orange and Blue today, presented by Champ Honda. Thank you. I appreciate you all. You put me in a better mood. So thanks. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and listen to Denver Sports Tonight. I'm going to jump on here in the headset and do it at 6. I'm going to go do it in an hour. So I'm going to go get some throat coat tea. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody. Stay tuned. And would you please stay frosty?